anyone who has ever dreamed of fame and fortune at the end of the rainbow, this is one of the greatest success stories of all time, proving once and for all that anyone can make it, no matter how young, no matter how green.
The lovers, the dreamers, and me. La, da, da.
All it took was a dream.
Hollywood. You sing, you tell jokes, you can make millions of people happy. Millions of people happy.
The road was long,
Waka, 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 waka.
but never lonely. It was dangerous, but never dull. Filled with unshakable friendship.
Come with us to Hollywood.
When you get rich and famous, maybe we'll show up and exploit your wealth.
Unforgettable faces.
I just gotta catch up with those guys.
And unexpected romance.
Never before.
She was a temperamental beauty,
So freely.
an unmarried woman, and a gorgeous pig.
Piggy! Miss Piggy! Are you Miss Piggy?
Yes?
Telephone.
Should it be snowing?
No, I don't think so.
Moving right along.
Today is your lucky day. The price on the stick is the price you pay. Never more, never less. We'll take that one.
Yeah, but be fancy free. Getting there is half the fun. Come share it with me.
From tender love
Whisper sweet nothings into my ear.
to sweet regret.
She just walked out on me.
Stay away from women. That's my motto.
But I can't.
Neither can I. That's my trouble.
Hi, I'm Doc Hopper. Invite you to hop on down and get some Hopper's French fried frog legs.
Don't you want to be rich and famous?
Not working for you, I don't.
From adversity to adventure.
A pig that goes bananas? What is this, a luau?
He never parted with his dream,
Hollywood.
or his friends, or his legs.
I think if you look in your heart, you'll find you really want to let me and my friends go. What I'm saying doesn't make any sense to you? Well then, go ahead and kill me.
All right, boys. Kill him.
The Muppet Movie, starring Charles Durning and Austin Pendleton. Special guest stars Edgar Bergen, Milton Berle, Mel Brooks, James Coburn, Dom DeLuise, Elliot Gould, Bob Hope,
Coffee, peach fudge.
Madeline Kahn,
Buy me a drink?
Carol Kane, Cloris Leachman, Steve Martin, Richard Pryor, Telly Savalas,
Yeah, what?
Paul Williams, and Orson Welles.
I may not be one of your fancy Hollywood frogs, but I deserve a chance.
Life's like a movie. Write your own.
At the end of the rainbow, where dreams come true, Puppet becomes Muppet, and Earth becomes mirth. And people who aren't people are the funniest people in the world. The Muppet Movie. It's more entertainment than was ever humanly possible.
Hey, I hear this movie is dynamite.
So yes, this week's movie of the week is the original The Muppet Movie. This Blu-ray release just came out this Tuesday. Wanting to talk about this, I have been waiting for this a little bit. Not waiting, I shouldn't say that, because as soon as it was announced, I said, I gotta get this because, well, the old Sony DVDs are now out of print. Let's go into what this film is about. Of course, there's the new Muppet movie coming out later on this year. There's also the Muppet movie that happened back in 2011. But I'm here to talk about the original, where it all started. Of course, the Muppets were started by Jim Henson back in the 1960s, I believe. 50s or 60s. And he somehow managed to create a weekly television show called The Muppet Show. And it was very popular on television. He had various sketches and celebrities that appeared on the show. But then in 1979, he decided that maybe it was time to tell the story, or loosely tell the story of how the Muppets came together. And what came out of that was the Muppet Movie. Now, in this film, a little bit of the synopsis, the film doesn't pick up, but we meet Kermit in the middle of his swamp. He's playing a little song on the banjo called The Rainbow Connection. That's where that came from. That's where that song came from, is from this movie. And one day, or this day in particular, a guy from California comes floating by. He's lost, and he says, he puts the idea into Kermit's head: you ought to be in the movies. You ought to make your way to Hollywood and become rich and famous. And so Kermit takes this idea, and he starts the long journey of making it to Hollywood, meeting Fozzie, Gonzo, and several of the other characters that they pick up along the way. Also, there is a villain story that there's a villain that's actually trying to seduce Kermit into becoming his national spokesperson for his fast food restaurant selling French fried frog legs. And Kermit, being the the nice frog he is, he will not cannibalize his own species. But yeah, the Muppet Movie finally came out on Blu-ray. The transfer is surprisingly decent, being that this is a lower tier Disney title. It was fairly cheap for being a Disney Blu-ray. It was only $20. Of course, I think what's going on here with this Blu-ray, even though I think the transfer is fairly decent, but however, here's the problem with it. I think they took the masters that was made by Sony and put it on this Blu-ray. Just did a high definition transfer. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like, because the opening logo is the Jim Henson Pictures that Sony had created. Sony had created that back in the late 90s when they had acquired the rights to all the Jim Henson products. They even produced one or two feature films. I think it was the film Buddy. That was going to be the first film. And then there was Muppets from Space. And I think it ended with that. Elmo and Grouchland, I think, was the last one. But since Disney has purchased the Muppets, they are getting the rights to all the films except for two that I can think of. Actually, the three I just mentioned right offhand. Muppets from Space, Muppets Take Manhattan, and Elmo and Grouchland. Those will not be released on Disney Blu-ray unless Disney purchases those rights from Sony. Those movies were produced exclusively through Sony Pictures. However, everything else is going to be on Disney Blu-ray. Matter of fact, they have announced by December they're going to have a 2-pack that has The Great Muppet Caper and Muppet Treasure Island, which was one of my least favorite of the Muppet movies. But But yeah, the Muppet Movie. In terms of review of this movie, if you want to introduce kids to the Muppets, you may want to watch this with them, even though it is G-rated. There's nothing in it that's really harmful. However, there is some things in here that may need to be explained. There's some jokes that don't hold up, that are very, very dated. Like there's a whole running gag in the film about if someone's lost, if they ask a question, "Are you lost?" and the person responds, "Well, have you tried Hare Krishna?" Yeah, that wouldn't hold up today. But it's a fairly decent Blu-ray pickup. Disney, I could see better being done. There's a Disney intermission, which they've been doing quite often with Disney Blu-rays, and then there's which they do a song and dance routine. Froggy sing along, sing how croak along with Kermit and the gang as the film plays. There's also Jim Frawley's extended camera test. Jim Frawley was the director of the film. And if you have the old Sony DVDs, that footage is on there as well. What it is a camera test to prove that they could do the Muppets on feature film and put them in real life areas, like out in the forest. Not out in the forest, but out on the road and amongst live people, and make it look believable, like it would be on the TV show. Because the TV show, there was sets built, and so everything was raised, and so the puppeteers could get in and do the job. But they wanted to prove that they could do the Muppets without the stage. And yeah, there's also the original theatrical trailers, which I just played at the beginning of this video. But trust me, the version that's on here is the same cut, but it's in better condition than what I just showed you. Classic bonus Pepe profiles present Kermit the Frog's life. Pepe the King Prawn turns the spotlight on one of the most famous pigs, or one of the most famous frogs. Excuse me, I'm thinking of Miss Piggy. And also has Doc Hopper's commercial that they show within the movie of Doc Hopper trying to pose his French fried frog legs. But yeah, it's a classic movie. It's classic fun. Again, if you want to show this to your kids, some of the jokes won't hold up. You may have to explain it to them. But yeah, there's some fun stuff in here. I am, even though Muppet Treasure Island was not one of my favorites, I'm still looking forward to picking that up when it comes out in December. It's also going to be in a 2-pack with a Great Muppet Caper, which is far superior to Muppet Treasure Island. The Great Muppet Caper came out a couple years after the Muppet Movie. But it was the follow-up film to the Muppet Movie. One more thing about the Muppet Movie is that it is kind of loosely based on the real-life story of Jim Henson taking the Muppets to fame and fortune. As a matter of fact, there's kind of a little dig at the man who helped Jim Henson get famous, by the name of Sir Lou Grade. But there's also Sir Lord Grade. And there's a film, not a film, but there's a part in the film where they run into Orson Welles. Orson Welles makes his cameo, plays a character by the name of Lou Lord. And and that's both Lou Grade and Lord Grade's names put together, and they created Orson Welles' character out of that, which is kind of interesting. And but the message still holds up, which is follow your dreams, and if you can dream it and you persevere, anything can happen. But yeah, that's the movie of the week, the Muppet Movie. So from me to you, see you later.